Mr. Lamy, who is director of the WTO, refuses to see any linkage between the GATS agreement, which is liberalizing financial services, and the financial crisis. However, it's not true what he's saying that this GATS agreement only liberalizes financial services, because when you do that under the GATS, you have to apply the GATS rules. And the GATS rules are saying governments are restricted to or cannot limit the size of their financial operations. They cannot restrict the value of the transactions. There is also a GATS rules which says that domestic regulation like licensing and licensing of banks and otherwise should be disciplined, and it should be not trade restrictive, and even they're continuing to negotiate further disciplines that kind of licensing and technical standards and other measures in the financial sector should be objective, etc. So it's really putting a limit on what the governments can do, and these are clear deregulations, which of course he refused to do. Indeed, the GATS does have something which is called a prudential carve-out. Some prudential measures can be taken, but one is not allowed as a country to take measures which goes against what they have agreed to do under the GATS rules. So it's like a vicious circle. So he is really very much afraid that people will look at the WTO and see how the WTO and the GATS agreement has kind of fueled the whole crisis by spreading the toxic products and the overstretched banks around the world. But for the moment, the governments refuse to look into it. But we're trying to work and make sure that some countries, developing countries who are raising the debate, are also raising the issues at the appropriate level in the northern countries.